Zana. I'll be playing Mr. Jefferson and also on some nights Benny.
Hi, I'm Justine Peña and I will be playing the role of Maureen.
Hi, I'm Abby Sulit and I play Pam.
Hi, I'm Micah Fajardo. I play Joanne and I'm also the female swing.
Hello, I'm Adrian Lindayag and I play one of the angels.
Hi, my name is Rabbit Tadero and I'm playing Mark.
Hi, my name is Molly Langley and I play the part of Mimi.
Hi, I'm Kai Banson and I play Alexi Darling.
Hi, I'm Jordan Andrews and I'm playing Gordon.
Hi, I'm Misha Fabian and I play Ali.
Hello, I'm Lance Orlando. I play the role of Angel.
Hello po, I'm Thea Ashley and I play the role of Mimi.
Hello, I'm Ian Pangilinan and I play Mark.
Hello, I'm Faye Castro and I play Joanne.
Hi everyone, I'm Garrett Golden and I play Tom Collins.
Hi, I'm Marky Strom and I play the role of Benny and on some nights Tom Collins.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Fitzgerald and I play Maureen.
Hi, I'm Chester Rodriguez. I play Steve and I'm also the male swing.
Hi everyone, I'm Antonio Valdez and I also play Steve.
Hi, I'm Anthony Rosaldo. I play the role of Roger.
Hi, I'm Gershon Webb. I play the role of Paul. Let's be
Alright, so as you've heard, we do have our alternates, and if you want to know when each of them will be performing, we just released the cast schedule finally, so you can check that on our pages or on each of the actors' social media pages because they share them as well. Now you got to know the cast here in our press visit because it's much more intimate. It's not a formal press con, and I hope that each of you will be able to talk. So I'll ask you guys to ask questions. Please let us know your name and of course the media publication or the group that you're representing. So may we start?
My question is, can you share with us the audition process? How did you, how difficult was it or easy to find all of them to match with the characters needed?
Yeah, when we announced auditions for this, we kind of anticipated that there would be a lot because the first time we did it in 2010, where we auditioned in 2009, there were already like 380 plus. So we thought, yeah, around like that would show up, but 534 or 36 registered and actually came. So yeah, we said we would bring the number down with the callbacks, but we were overwhelmed with, we kept on just saying, come back, come back, come back. And then it was more than 300 and who came back. So actually more than around almost 400. So we had to add 2 days additional for the callbacks. And it's very, very hard to choose. Vocally, and then when we normally the dancing part really eliminates a lot of people, but in this case it didn't. For those who expressed, there are people who expressed roles they were auditioning for, and there were people who didn't, but we thought, let's call this person for this role. So there were, like, for the Marines, there were like around 20, and then for the Mimis, there were like another 20 something. For the Marks, there were ang dami. So we had a hard time, really had a hard time. This generation of would-be actors now we don't have to really coach them anymore to come out of their shell. I think social media, particularly them always videoing themselves for TikTok and Reels, just train them without them knowing it. And that was the wonderful exercise we experienced during auditions. Walang mahiya. No one was really shy. And there were a few, but it was really hard to choose. So we called back and then we deliberated, I think, 4 days. Really tiring, and then re-watching the videos. And then we also, aside from, obviously they could sing and they could move and they could act the numbers, we also wanted to see what they would look like together. So there were a couple of sessions towards the end of the auditions where we line them up and see how the ensemble, the entire ensemble would look like. And kung may odd person out, yun yung decision on why. So, you know, it's still part of show business. So the physical still played a role. It was a given that they could all sing. It was a given that they could all move. But we kind of opted also because this time we really wanted to make it more dancey than our previous iterations back in 2010 and 11, where it was just really movement. Now there's more contemporary dancing, and we really had to make sure that everyone could do it somehow. So, no. Keyword. And then, ideally, you have one cast and then just covers. But in this case, we wanted to really accommodate as many people as possible. We have alternates in almost all the roles, except Roger. Who else? And the chorus. But everybody's covered. So if, you know, knock on wood, somebody gets sick or actually has a previous engagement, we made sure that everyone's literally covered by a cover. So, yun, it's very exciting. Yes, Philip.
Show of hands lang, how many of the people here actually watched any of the previous productions and are now sort of aware of who played the role that they're portraying now?
Actually, I was starstruck when I watched it. I was in college. I told them before that was my first ticket that I bought. I was in college. I bought it 2011, I think. The one who sang it when I watched is a good friend of mine now, Ring Antonio. And I was like, when I got the role that she got, I was like, Jing! It's me! Because we were just, you know, crying together. Full circle moment. So it was like,
How about the other ones who raised their hands?
I watched it in 2010. I watched it in Rockwell. You guys had a Rockwell cinema performance. RENT is just one of those music. If you grow up, well, not grow. I started in college, but when you're grown up, in college when I started listening to musicals that you should listen to if you want to be an actor, a musical theater actor, RENT is one of those things. And I started in 2006. And then 2008 was my first professional production, and then 2 years later I heard they were doing RENT. I watched it, and it was, it's just one of those things that you needed to see live. And now, X years, 14 years since that production, 14 years since that production, you know, I'm fortunate enough to be a part of it. Yeah.
The others here got aware of that too.
Oh, we're far too aware.
I was in grade school.
Yeah, some of them are painfully young.
Painfully.
Yeah,
Painful for you.
like when they, well, definitely. When they say like they're like 22 or something, my lower back starts to hurt.
Some were born in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's really painful for me to hear you guys.
It's painful for us. Kasi there was one time Robbie was saying, okay, next group, right? So sabi ni Robbie, okay, Wednesday group. No, silence. And I said, oh my God, they don't know. They don't know Wednesday group. Or Thursday group. They don't know. That's entertainment. So yeah, that's how old we are.
In 2010, I was really casting Adrian, but at that time I was still doing showbiz stuff. I was more busy with the showbiz side of things, and I wasn't able to make some time for this. So this for me was full circle moment for me because I really wanted to be in it then, and for some way or another, I was able to make my way into this cast, being so much older now than many of them. So they keep me young. What I was hoping for. What I was hoping for in this when I auditioned though was it wasn't going to be as dance heavy, but then all of a sudden they decided to make me dance even more. So I'm still excited for it. It's keeping me fit. So
how many say po to you each time they?
actually, it was funny because I remember one of the first rehearsals. I came in and they said, "Oh hi, Kuya Gucci." It made me feel so.
And we started calling him Dad.
And then now it's Daddy.
Daddy.
Now it's Daddy. Daddy.
Daddy Gucci.
Thank you.
Next question for our very, very, well, this very full cast. Different generations.
We have one there.
I guess.
RENT has created such a legacy through the years, even for those who haven't been born when it was out. So, in portraying your characters, what kind of signature would you bring to the table to make sure that yours?
I've seen so many different versions of RENT, which is bad for me because personally as an actor, I make sure I never watch it before I do it because I don't want to copy anybody. I want to be influenced by anybody. But this is one of those things where you can't avoid it. It's the Hamilton now. Now it's Hamilton, right? So I guess I rely on the fact that no two actors will ever interpret the same material, ever the same. I also have the advantage of zooming out from that because this was a period. Now it's a period piece, and it's I have the opportunity to zoom out and be like, okay, and then what would it be like to insert my sensibilities in that time period. So it's really more of that, and I'm really, as an actor, I'm really thinking more about how do I portray this as truthfully as I can, as truthfully, as honest as I can, instead of thinking that I have to do something different. It's because at the end of the day, story is king. It's not about us individually as actors. It's about what this story represents. So I think it's that it's reverse engineered that way for me.
It's a really good concept. So yeah, anyone else?
I wanted to be part of theater community because of the show. I actually have never watched it on stage. I watched the movie in 2007 in high school, and that's what really, or 2008, and that was what pushed me or 2005, shoot, college pala na ako sa 2007. 2005, and I fell in love with it, and I told myself, you know what, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and in the future, I will play the role of Ben. And I wanted to play this role ever since. In the audition process, I was not supposed to sing the song, but I said, you know what? Even if I don't get it, I want to try this and sing it in front of you guys. Excited.
Dapat disqualified.
Dapat disqualified. Actually, dapat disqualified. Not qualified. But I'm just so thankful that I was able to get this opportunity to play this role, and Tom Collins. Both roles I watched back in the day, and I said, I want to try to put a little bit of a different spin to this character. I want him, because Benny is away from everyone else. There's the 8, and then he's the bad guy. I just don't see him as the bad guy. I just see him as like that family member of yours. It's like pasaway, right? And I just wanted to bring a different light to Benny, and just show how the family that is RENT really comes together instead of having the family, the La Vie Boheme, and Benny.
Sa tingin ko, the fact na nag-call for audition sila before and specified doon is yung for the role of angel, it's either gay or transgender. So the fact nga na nakast ako dito, thank you po. Ayun, parang yun yung isa sa primary flavor na mabibring ko sa table, na parang lived experience kasi siya. So yun, parang ang daming nag-angel, pero wala na nag-verbalize na parang, alam mo, trans woman yun noon, hindi pa lang nila nag-grasp that. So, ako yung parang, oo, trans woman ako.
Thank you.
Again, may runs no 2010 and 2011. So how similar or different naman yung stage natin and the costumes natin?
Stage, Mio set is going to be very, very different. It's bigger. That's all I'm allowed to say. Staging wise, we are approaching it drastically different from the last time. It's been 14 years, so I was actually telling Santi because we were cleaning up to today, and there's just so many things that we're discovering in the material that recent events, the past 14 years, has helped us shape, reinterpret. That is even more relatable to today's audiences, which is our primary goal. No? We really want to not only share the story of RENT to the Zillennials, but we also want to educate them, particularly about HIV/AIDS. When this was written, AIDS was just really a backdrop. It's not mentioned strongly, it's in passing lang. Or the immune deficiency syndrome, that's it. But after that, it's not mentioned again. Probably because it was written at the time when people didn't want to hear it. But now, it's still prevalent. It hasn't gone away. We really made it a point to put it forward. So we will be showing the effects as well as the causes as far as the material allows us. Because we're not changing any text, we're not changing any scenes, we're not rearranging, we're not adding things that aren't in the script, but we're just emphasizing more and bringing out more. As a matter of fact, yesterday we had a discussion with three groups that, what do you call them? There are three organizations that...
HIV advocacy.
Yeah, advocacy groups. And we got more information from them, starting from the history all the way to how it's being dealt with now. And we just came out of it richer in terms of information. And that's what we're feeding into the material. Most especially the effect of that virus to all of the characters, which is why they're who they are. In the beginning of rehearsals, I really pointed out that they're misfits. They're not good people by circumstance. They're squatters. There's a hacker. There's somebody who kills a dog for money. Things that today are not really as acceptable as they were before. I mean, before they were, misdemeanors. But nowadays, they're strong enough to be condemned. So we have to tackle those issues and portray them in a way where we want the audiences to understand where they're coming from and the situation that made them deal with life the way they're dealing with it at that time. Because we're not changing the time. We're still set in Christmas Eve of '89 going to New Year's and Christmas of 1990. So Act 1 is 1 day and then Act 2 is 1 year. So that's the main difference. And you're going to find more texture. You're going to find everything, we're really taking our time making piga, squeezing out as much as we can, even from just one lyric or one melody. I mean, just like today, just a few minutes ago, there's an intro to there's a melodic intro to a song where no one is saying anything, and yet you could feel the weight of the scene in that empty where there are no lyrics. It's just the melody. So, pati yun, pinuna namin, and we're still looking for things like that to make it fuller and richer. When we staged this back in 2010, we just wanted to present it the way it was before, the way it was presented on Broadway. So we really didn't pay much attention into getting a message out and educating people. No, that wasn't our advocacy then. It is now, and and we're really happy that we're also learning in the process. It's just so much. We should be running through already at this point, but we're not, because we're really making Reimagining. I'm not worried because God is in the details. So, yun.
Following that po, for our younger cast, parang ano po yung parang feeling nyo makaka-relate yung younger audience sa mga struggles nung pinoportray ng mga characters nyo?
Define younger.
yung mga hindi nakapanood, no? Yeah.
I think the thing na kinausap ko a lot of my friends about it. Tapos parang sa generation ngayon, parang sobrang clear yung concept ng shit, mamamatay tayo guys, may climate change, the economy is so horrible, you know what I mean? All of these things, tapos parang, so parang actually, yung some of my marketing friends, sabi nila, yung insight na nakuha nila from people is na people just wanna enjoy because feeling nila, mamamatay na talaga tayo lahat. Alam mo yun? And I think the parallel in Rent is, a lot of these people feel like they're gonna die at any moment. As in, kasi a lot of them are sick. So parang how, it's in that song like how do you measure a life? It's in love. And I think, watching everybody here, sobrang clear nun to everyone na like, sometimes we do kind of shady things or questionable things, sometimes we fight, sometimes pero without spoiling anything, once you see certain parts of the show, it's gonna be really clear that no matter what, the main thing about it is love. We're all gonna die, but at the end of the day, we're gonna go through life together. So that's so I think that's the thing that I think younger generations will identify.
If I may add, I can admit it, I'm not one of the younger ones, but I can, if I could send out a particular message, especially to newer generations, every time there is a period piece, because Robbie did mention that some of these things are going to get condemned now, right? The magic of entertainment, the magic of theater, is sometimes we look at a period of history and we think these people lived in the past. No, they lived in the present of that past, which means they were living in that moment. Sometimes people tend to get so stuck in the cultural moment that they're in, the zeitgeist that they're experiencing right now, that we don't. Where did it start? No, but it's a moment. The cultural moment that we're in right now that parang, cancel dapat yan today. Cancel na yan dapat today. But that's the thing, we're inviting you to go back in time with us. And this is what your parents thought. This is what your grandparents thought. So to come in with no judgment and to measure your life in love. That's really, hopefully.
I don't know. I'd like to add to this, especially after what we talked about yesterday with the whole, because we had a HIV talk. It's also very prevalent now in this day and age. More people, even especially in the Gen Z 15, up to 15 years old, are contracting HIV. And this is actually an advocacy of ours as well, I believe, as a collective, to try to really let everyone know, yes, back in the day, you died from HIV. But now, you can live a full life. And there are so many organizations that are going to be there to help you out. They will talk to you. You have counseling now as opposed to back in the day. But you see how everyone pushed forward as a family in RENT to really take care of each other. Now you can find your own family. And it's not just the family that you have at home, because sometimes they don't accept you. Because there is no, for example, sex ed in schools. You can find your support system, your support group, your own family to take care of you. Your chosen family, that's what you call them. The ones who will be there by your side and really take care of you and let you know, yes, go get yourself tested, go get your PrEP, use protection when you have sex, so you can save a life, your own and the people around you. And I thank you.
Sorry, can I add? So just to also reinforce what Rev said, na it is a period piece, but at the same time, the good thing about younger generations watching it is that history actually repeats itself. It's always true. And what's good about that is that when the younger generations see what it was before, they can also relate. Just imagine, we have so many characters there. And the irony of it is that what you see on stage, or what you will see in RENT, is not the norm. And as Robbie said, it's a bunch of misfits. So what's good about that is if you're from the younger generations who feel that you're different from the norm or from the others, well, you're not. There are special groups for you, dedicated for you. And you can choose. We're like Pokemon, you know, you can choose, oh, I want to be Eevee, I want to be Angel, like that. So that's the beauty of it also.
And sir, I love what you said. I promise this is the last time. It's again, finally, I missed it a while ago. It's a human story through and through. Going back to the idea of history, if there are learnings from 2,000, 3,000, philosophies from 4,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago that are still resonant today, what more something that was like in the 90s, in the 80s, right? We can relate to that still, diba? It's not just generation nyo kasi yan eh. No, it's one thread through life, through history. So, yeah.
Okay, I still want to circle back the question to the young ones. I really love what Rev and Marty and Kim said, because again, our talk yesterday, as they mentioned, we just want to give we didn't really publicize yet, though one of our organizations did share it already, the Red Whistle. So we did have the Red Whistle and Pathway. And certainly we are also in partnership with Love Yourself. So those are the 3 orgs we're working with to really reinforce everyone, the entire cast, with regards to sending the message, as they mentioned. But yeah, just to circle it back to the younger generation, I guess, of this cast. So since a lot of them here, they are part of the course and also the main cast. We do want to ask maybe Faye, Thea.
Oh, sige. Intro ako eh. Furthermore.
Wow!
Furthermore. Yeah. Next. Wait lang ah. Here I go. No, we live in an age, diba, where it's so scary to make a mistake in public. But cancel culture, that's a phrase that's often thrown out. And we live in a time na people's lives are so curated on the internet. And yun nga, that you're afraid to commit a mistake in public. So one of the things that I hope people would take away from this staging of RENT is that humans are flawed. Rarely are we ever really in black and white. It's always a gray space. So yun na.
To jump on what my castmates said, an overarching theme that I think any generation would be able to relate to is the desire for community. That all you ever really have at the end of the day is all that's really ever important is your relationships with other people, your relationship to yourself. So I think that's something that new theatergoers and those who love the material so much would be able to relate to. And that's something I think that is present in the staging, very, very, very present in the staging of Rent. It's not Rent. Thank you. Anyone else? Alright.
Yes,
He's not 14. That's not even the age requirement for watch.
I believe this tackles two questions actually. The one where you asked us how younger generations would relate, but I also believe it also tackle how personal the characters are to us. This is my first time working with Nineworks, and throughout the whole rehearsal process, each and every one of us were able to really dissect our characters and their lives and their stories and put ourselves a little bit in there as much as possible. Dr. Robbie, such a great director. This is the first time I've ever had such a collaborative experience where I got to present. There wasn't a rubric, as Rev mentioned a couple press conferences ago. We really built the box that we were supposed to go into. That's still a very good saying, by the way. So every individual character, every moment that we all portray is a story. You know, it's something that anyone can relate to. It's not difficult to find someone to relate to. You can see yourself in it. And that's where I believe is very relatable. And everyone is very personal. I believe that this is a family also. We love each other. We will help each other build up this story that we want to impart upon everyone else's hearts. So that way, you know, we can learn from our own mistakes, our future mistakes and whatnot. But yeah.
Thank you.
Follow-up question from the one. We live in a very conservative society, even if a lot of us are slowly coming to terms with HIV and other issues that matter. What message do you want to send to someone who's a curious theater watcher and who hasn't seen Rent in general and sees all these issues put out in the open?
Great question. I think it's very important. Sorry, I'm an advocate for love yourself, and I think it's very, very important for people to know. I'm also on a radio show called The Morning Rush, and before they used to tell me, Marky, do not talk about that. Do not talk about using protection. Do not talk about HIV. But I said, I don't care. I need people to know these things. People need to understand there's no sex education in schools. That's why we live in this conservative society where guns are PG-13 and sex is R18. But sex is very important. As you can see, the age prevalence of HIV has gone down to 15 years old. If we want to protect ourselves, we need to know these things. It is very, very important for it to be right in your face so that you understand why you have to really understand and protect yourself when you have these sexual experiences. Because a lot of us are very scared to tell our parents, scared to tell our friends, because diba, we're in a conservative society. But it is also very important to have someone to talk to. And I think that is exactly what Rent is here to do. It is here to really let everyone know in your face that yes, this is hard to look at and this is hard to discuss, but it is very important for each and every single one of us, especially the ones in the conservative communities, to understand that yes, we need to learn about these things so that we can protect ourselves and our family members just in case the problem, quote unquote, arises within our families or our circles.
Being a father and having children that are 4 and 3 years old, syempre, I have to censor my kids from seeing this show. They're not going to be able to watch this at 4 and 3 years old. So, looking at it from that perspective of yes, we're a conservative country, and for the sake of my children, I have to be conservative and not allow them to watch the show. I think that what's nice about having this out in the forefront is that it shows us that we have to be responsible. That this information is actually very precious, it's very important, and we have to do our best to be able to educate those by taking in information that we receive. So one day I'll tell my kids about this and maybe have them watch it. In fact, the other day, or actually just yesterday, because my daughter's in Saigon, so she's experiencing the engine career as the moment. So there's a moment where she's walking on stage. She's not supposed to be doing, but she's walking like this on stage, copying the dance of the engineer. And then she went home and asked me, "Daddy, what's a lesbian?" You know, and I should call you to explain. But me and my wife had to sit her down and we had to educate her about this and what it means to be in love. And even though she's 4 years old, she didn't fully understand it. But things like RENT, things like experiencing RENT and being a part of RENT and having this a part of my teenage years and I say college years and up it shows us that this information is important. It makes it so that it's not difficult to look for. Because especially in a conservative nation like this, information is hard to find sometimes, many times. Either we're covering it, we're not showing it, or it's hard for us to look for it. But having RENT and be as successful as RENT is globally, this information, we know that it's there. And it's our responsibility as a theater goer to be able to take that information and start to educate others.
Similar to what Guji was saying, there is a lot of information out there, and it actually is accessible to a lot of younger generations. There's so much online, but a lot of it is unfiltered. So I'd like to think that with RENT, we're not necessarily providing the information that they can get easily out there. We're providing the reason why it's important to know these things. There's so much unfiltered information, misinformation, all of that, but it doesn't always answer the question of why they need to inform themselves. And the reason is that you need to be responsible for the community that you are part of, for the family that you have, and for yourself. And I think that's why it's so important for the younger generation to watch the show.
Sorry, can I further add? And thank you for pointing out that we're still in a very conservative setup in the Philippines. And I guess information in a way is also conservative. We get to learn most of the things that we know from school, from the academy. And what's good about this is, okay, we have a lot of things that we learn from school, from the academy, but when you go to theater, you're also gonna learn. But while learning, you're gonna see us sing, you're gonna see us dance, you're gonna see us enjoy ourselves, and hopefully pass that on to you. So you're gonna see us laugh, cry, get tired, and dance, sing, and on. So, alam mo yun, parang there's a lot of kids watch cartoons, and they learn a lot from cartoons because it's entertaining. So let that be our responsibility to hopefully entertain you, and at the same time,